So, Blood of the Dawnwalker was revealed earlier this year, back in January, and they had a CGI trailer letting us see what the game was about, giving us a little bit of that story flavor, a little bit of that sauce. And just yesterday, they revealed a 21-minute gameplay overview trailer, and I gotta say, it looks outstanding. It looks pretty amazing. I'm not gonna lie. So today we're gonna talk about Blood of the Dawnwalker, some of the systems, what I find interesting, what looks so cool about the game, and a couple other things. So if you're into that, stick around. We got a lot to talk about. And if you happen to be into grounded, casual conversations around gaming, consider liking and subscribing because we do vids like this all the time. So TLDR, Blood of the Dawnwalker looks like it's going to be a banger. It's not slated to come out until 2026, but it's being developed by a studio called Rebel Wolves. Don't know their past, don't know their history, don't know what they came out prior, but this looks like something that's going to be crazy. And one of the standout elements of the gameplay itself is something that they call the narrative sandbox. Now, I find this great because me, myself, I am a story guy. I am a writer myself. So to see that they're focusing on story heavily and really leaning into that really gets me excited. Now, when it comes to the narrative sandbox they have here, it pretty much means that you can play this game any way you want. You can do a quest. You can not do a quest. You can choose one way to go about a situation. You can choose another way. So it all depends on you. So there is technically no story aside from the one that you craft through the gameplay that you choose to take. And I find that so awesome. I feel like that is something that a true open world game needs. You need not just the ability to walk around and see scenery and see nice vistas and things like that, explore beautiful interiors and stuff like that. You need the ability to be in the world and really immerse yourself. And what better way to do that than having the narrative freedom to do whatever you want and craft the story yourself. Now, I'm not saying that this is like telltale levels of like we're crafting your story, but for example, they said something like you have this quest in front of you and it has a timer on it. Now, the timer itself is not clicking down, but instead it's a resource. So let's say you have a quest in front of you, like do this quest, you have 22 days. That's what they had in the example in the preview, right? But it's not like 22 days is clicking down and everything like that. Instead, it's a resource. So it's like you have this quest in front of you, but you can go do these other things that affect the story and affect the world around you. And guess what? They're going to cost you the days from that quest that you have already. So let's say, for instance, you have a quest to go take out a vampire, right? And you have 2 days to do it. But instead you say, okay, I'm going to go over here and build up this vampire stopping machine, right? But if you spend the time to do that, you're going to take away a day from you actually stopping the vampire. So you really craft the story that you want here. And I find that extremely interesting. Overall, this gameplay reveal looked great. I mean, as far as the graphics and like the visuals of the game, it looked amazing. It looked like they really took the time and the effort, and they're still taking the time and the effort to polish it. So far, so good on that end. It looks great. It looks like it's going to be a good time. The world looks beautiful and it looks very dense. And like they said, it's really populated with a lot of different side quests and a lot of things to find, which is always awesome. It gives me real Skyrim vibes. Obviously, these are two different like scenes or settings, but at the end of the day, it gives me that Skyrim vibe with everything that everybody loved about Skyrim when it first came out. When it first came out, it was like, listen, here is a world, right? We built this world. Go have fun. Go do what you're going to do in this world. Here it is. Enjoy it. And I feel like that's the approach that they're taking with this game. And I'm definitely here for it at the end of the day. I also like how you have kind of like dual modes because you have two sides to you. Obviously, you're a Dawnwalker, so you have the daytime when you're human and you have the nighttime when you're actually a vampire. Obviously, there's some limitations that you have as a human that you don't have when you're a vampire, so you have to wait till night. And when night comes, you can actually traverse differently. You have other abilities to be able to feed on people. It really feels like a vampire simulator at the end of the day. And that's awesome. I'm really liking the idea that they really leaned into that. And you really feel like you're stepping into the shoes of this character and really feel like a vampire here. But back to the freedom of the game as well. Another thing that I liked is just that you're able to take on bosses at any point in time. It kind of gives me Elden Ring a little bit where you can go take on the very extremely strong boss if you want to early in the game. It's doable, but it's going to be crazy challenging, right? But you can do it. And I really love that autonomy there. And that's what they did here when they showed an example of the boss. I forget her name, but you can actually face her very early on in the game, even though you're kind of like, they said they were mid-level when they faced her. and you can do that, and that's just something you can do, and I love that about this game. So you can really take charge and really have, control over how you play, and I like that a lot. I feel like that's a true staple of an open world, and I think that's what a lot of games have lacked, and because they've lacked that, they've been lackluster to a lot of the populace and a lot of the gamers out there. But I feel like they're really leaning into the idea of just autonomy, player agency. Hey, go ahead, do whatever you want, however you want, have fun and enjoy it, and see what you get. Now, one of the things that kind of gave me a little bit of a scare here with the game, not like actual scare, but was when they showed the mini map. Now, when they showed the mini map, it was littered with so many icons. They had the question marks, they had all those things there. And I'm like, man, y'all did so good with the autonomy. Y'all doing so great with like the narrative sandbox and the world sandbox. I feel like they don't need the icons. Like, you don't need the icons. You don't need the question marks. Let people explore the world. Let it go free. You don't have to mark everything. I feel like this is a game where everybody that plays will have a different type of experience and a different outcome. So I don't think they should litter it with like all these icons and just like question marks. And look, this is an area of interest. I think they should just kind of let these things happen organically and let the player explore and find things, because they built a beautiful world here. I don't think that they should go the route of other companies and just have like a whole bunch of icons all over a map and kind of leading you to go to checkpoint to checkpoint to checkpoint to checkpoint to knock off things and figure out, how to complete the map and stuff like that. I just think that they should leave a lot of things just ambiguous. Let us find it. And I know that this is an early beta as well, but another thing that kind of stood out to me is the combat. And this is not coming out until 2026, but the combat that they did show did look a little bit clunky. It looked a little bit stiff, and it looked like it wasn't as fluid as it should be. And like I said, this is a beta. It's not done yet. It's not coming out until next year. I'm sure they're going to take the time to really dial that in and fix that up, hopefully. But out of everything I saw, that was the only thing that stood out to me, where it's like it's a little stiff. It's a little stiff in the animations of the combat, but like I said, it's a beta, so this is just showing you what the game is, an overview of the gameplay. So I'm sure in the future, as they work towards finishing the game, they'll get that ironed out, and everything will be great there. But so far, what I've seen, it looks pretty amazing. I'm not gonna lie. It looks like it's gonna be a great time, and it looks like it's gonna be a banger for 2026. All right, we're gonna have GTA 6. We're gonna have this and a slew of other things. 2025 has been great, so I'm looking forward to learning more about Blood of the Dawnwalker and see what they have in store at the end of the day. But I want to know what you think. Let me know in the comments. Have you been impressed by Blood of the Dawnwalker? Have you liked what you've seen? Have you not liked what you've seen? Does it look promising to you like it looks to me? Whatever it is, I'm always down to have conversations with you all. And if you're into having grounded, casual conversations around gaming, consider liking and subscribing. But outside of that, thanks so much for chilling with me today, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.